The word infinity is a really hard concept for our minds to grasp because it means there is no beginning and there is no end. Yet science and math agree that this is a real thing. They call it a singularity. A singularity is the point at which the calculations and the normal rules of physics no longer apply and we see something completely new. For example, in science, the center of a black hole is considered a singularity because gravity becomes so dense toward the center of the black hole that the mathematical calculations equal infinity. In technology, the word singularity is used to describe a point in time where there's a technological explosion through things like AI and nanotechnology and biotech that creates changes to us and to the human race that is out of control and irreversible, just like the center of a black hole. And futurist Ray Kurzweil predicts that that's going to happen before the year 2045. There's also a way to create a singularity within yourself. You have limitless access to expanding your own personal capacity in every single moment. Your capacity refers to your nervous system, the level to which you can handle anything emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically, and there's no limit to the number of times or the number of ways that you can expand your capacity. That's why it's possible to create a singularity, because there's no limit to this. How do you expand your capacity? First, it's a matter of understanding that everything that you see externally in your world is mirroring your level of capacity. Think about a specific area of your life: finances, career, relationship. Think about where you are today in that one specific area. Now think about where you were with that one specific area 5 years ago. Now think about 10 years ago. You know way more now than you did 5 or 10 years ago about this thing. Sometimes growing our capacity is thrust on us by things that happen to us. Once we lose a loved one or a very close relationship, we have understanding that we didn't have before that thing happened. Sometimes we intentionally grow our capacity by going to college, by reading books. The point, though, is that we can see in our lives on a daily basis when our capacity is really big and when our capacity is really small, because it fluctuates all the time. When your capacity is very small, it's easy to get frustrated with your colleague who takes a really long time to explain something. When you have very small capacity, Ted from HR is so annoying. It's hard to see your boss's perspective. Your husband's annoying for losing his keys for the 5th time in 1 week. But when you have expanded capacity in your own nervous system, you are able to stay calm in difficult situations. You're able to see other people's perspectives. And when your husband loses his keys for the 5th time that week, you think, that's annoying, but I love him and I'm going to go help him find his keys again. But it's never about the problems that are outside of us. If it were, we would react the same every time these things happened, but we don't. We react completely differently and we see things completely differently based on our capacity. Once we know this, then we can deal with everything in our lives differently. Because when something's coming at us, of course, there's going to be a natural reaction to deal with what's coming at us, and we have to. So if it's financial, you still have to pay your bills. If it's something with your kid, you still have to deal with your kid. You still have to communicate with your spouse. You have to deal with these external things. But the way that you view those things and the way that you deal with those things is directly impacted by your capacity. So the job is to first focus on where you're at and do what you need to do, the inner work that you need to do to expand your own capacity before you deal with those external things. And those external things will change based on your capacity. So how do we grow capacity? First of all, it's a choice. It's a choice to look at the fact that you are the one responsible for how you are seeing the world and how you are showing up in the world. When you learn to tune in and you feel that your capacity is limited, that's when you need to focus on what do I need to do right now to change my capacity. And in different moments, it's different. It can be as simple as taking a deep breath and remembering that this is just something out there, but you're the one having the reaction. A second thing is when you're out of capacity, you're in a very stuck place. So doing something like helping someone else when you're in that spot will immediately shift you and grow your capacity. And this could be as simple as calling someone and inviting them for coffee, going on Facebook and saying happy birthday to people. Or it could be bigger, like volunteering at a homeless shelter, reading to kids, doing something kind for your family. That one act will immediately get you out of being stuck and into expanded capacity. Another thing that you can do is you can get your mind into an altered state. You can do this through self-hypnosis, meditation, mindfulness, visualization. There are 1 million free recordings on YouTube, and you will immediately shift your capacity if you do this for just 90 seconds. Another way to shift your capacity is shift your perspective. If you have a specific routine that you follow every day, change it up. Take a different road to work. Go to a different coffee shop. Do something different for lunch. Getting out of your routine shifts and expands your capacity. Another way to shift your capacity is to take a risk. When you're in your comfort zone, your capacity is going to enclose around you. So every day I want you to think in what's something that you could do that really makes you nervous, that stresses you out a little bit. That grows your capacity. Another way to grow your capacity, make it a habit to start writing down every day things that you are thankful for. Because you can't be both in limited capacity, which I call being stuck, and thankful at the same time. Those things can't coexist. Think about the things that you're thankful for. That immediately shifts your capacity. There is one thing that will shift your capacity faster than anything else you could ever do. And that's when you combine your intentions with other people who are going in the same direction as you. There's a couple reasons why this is so powerful. One, back to physics, there's something called the observer effect. And there were studies that were done by scientists over the last 40, 50 years where they found that just the fact that something was observed, it actually literally changed everything from light particles to atoms and electrons. You've probably heard of the study Schrodinger's cat. It was the study where scientists said there was a cat in a box and it was both alive and dead at the same time until it was observed. And they've proven this with light particles. And we are nothing more than energy and light particles. So the way that we are observed by the people around us literally changes us. There's another study that proves this point. This was called the Rosenthal effect, or you've heard of the Pygmalion effect probably. This is where they took a bunch of teachers and students, and they told the teachers, this group of students is gifted. This group of students has learning disabilities and behavioral issues. Most of the time, the students showed up exactly as the teacher was observing them and expecting them to show up. What does this mean for you? This means that the people that you are surrounding yourself with are literally impacting you on a cellular level. They're changing who you are. So are you surrounding yourself with people who believe in you and want you to be successful and believe you can be successful? Or are you surrounding yourself with people who see through their lens and can't even comprehend the things that you're trying to go after? Or they could be jealous of you, or they just are afraid and they look at you through their own fear. Now, I'm not saying to cut everybody out of your life that doesn't fit where you want to be. However, I am saying you have to intentionally surround yourself with the people that uplevel you and are going in the same direction as you and see you in the best possible light. When we intentionally create these groups, these are singularity circles. Singularity circles create infinite expansion. You can expand your capacity on your own, which you should, and you can. I've done it. But when I joined intention circles and singularity circles, my expansion was exponential. And the expansion of each other person in the singularity circle was exponential. Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich called this concept the power of the mastermind. He studied at the time the wealthiest men in America and wrote about the things they all had in common. One of them was that each one of them utilized the power of the mastermind, which literally means the influence of the people that they were surrounding themselves with. And he said that when you brought two people together working on a common goal, there was a power that comes in and creates exponential growth from that. This concept was also in the Bible when Jesus said, "When two or more of you are gathered in your name, I am there with you." This idea of exponential growth is not new, but utilizing it in such a way to create a singularity within is not only possible, it's necessary, because the concerns today about AI and nanotechnology are real, and they're already happening. If you think about pacemakers or cochlear implants or all of the biotech that is already being researched right now and that I see every year when I go to the TED conference, for anyone who thinks that this isn't happening, just wait until there is a nanotechnology that can stop the progression of dementia, that can make you skinny, that you can download knowledge that you want, like Star Trek. All of this research exists. It's going to change how we live. It's going to change how we fight disease. And it will, in fact, create a technological explosion that will be out of control and irreversible. So in order to keep our humanity at the same time that this technology explosion happens, we have to create singularities within. And there's no limit to how much you can expand your capacity. You are already limitless. Doing these exercises just lets you play with it a little bit more and have fun a little bit more with it.